I don't jump on makeup trends very often, but this one just spoke to me because it's a makeup look that I have been doing for a really long time. It just now has a trendy name to it. We're gonna do the Latte makeup look. So if you've been wanting to do this makeup look that you're seeing all over, then keep watching. So I'm gonna do a pre-foundation illuminator. So I'm gonna use my Kosas Glow IV in the shade Radiate. But anyway, I was looking at, you know, the videos and like the trends and how many people are doing this makeup trend online. And what's funny to me is just, I've been doing this. This is like a makeup look that I've done for the last like decade. It's like my no-fail go-to glam. So, you know, when in doubt, you do like a bronzy, brown, smoky eye and all those things because it's always flattering. It's always crowd-pleasing. Everyone looks good in it, you know, it's like a no-fail. So I was hesitant to do this video because of that. I'm like, no, I've been doing this for so many years. Like it's so silly that's being called a trend now, but I decided to just put my feelings aside and show you how I do or how I've been doing a latte makeup look for the past 10 years. It's just undeniably beautiful. So liquid illuminator, I want my skin to be nice and glowy and have like a glow from within type look. So I'm really putting this pretty much all over my face, blending it all throughout. I love this liquid illuminator. I think this is such a great formula. I have a couple in my makeup kit. This is the one I kept for myself. I purchased them like right when they came out and I've just been obsessed ever since. So once my skin is pre-lit, do a little bit more. I mean, this really gives you like a beautiful bronze all over, like a fake tan almost, which I do enjoy because it helps to match my complexion to the rest of my body, which is, you know, my face is really fair and pale, so that is always helpful. So now once that is on, I'm gonna do some pre-foundation sculpting. So for that, I'm gonna use my LYS No Limits Cream Bronzer. I have the shade Harmony. I love this formula. I had a couple of comments on TikTok when I posted a video using this, and it was like, girl, that's too orange, and girl, that's orange as this and orange as that, and I don't agree. The base of bronzers are orange, so they're gonna look a little orange at times. Most of bronzer undertones are gonna be orange base. Like that's how you get that bronzy look. You have an orange base to them. So when people call out that a bronzer is orange or too orange or this and that, complain about the orange tone, well, it's not contour, so it's not gonna be a cool tone. It's gonna be a warm, more orangey tone naturally. But anyway, I thought that was funny. It has not stopped me from using my LYS like almost every single day. I just absolutely adore this formula. Like that blends out so easy and definitely gives me that bronzy golden warmth to my skin. So for latte makeup, it's very bronzy skin. You know, it's very like caramelly and warm. So this is like a crucial part to the latte makeup look. So getting it all over, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just kind of getting a nice base on because I'm gonna put my foundation on top. So any areas that I got, you know, like it went a little too low with my bronzer, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna kind of go in and erase it basically when I do my foundation. So even this part is gonna look really crazy right now, but bear with me and just trust the process. So before I put this away, I'm gonna switch to a small blending brush from BK Beauty. It's a 212 brush. And this is gonna be my pre-eyeshadow, like sculpting. So it's gonna connect and kind of like melt into the rest of the bronzer that I just put all over my face. So I'm gonna do this all across my crease and just a windshield wiper motion. Drag it down my nose just to connect the two worlds and then blend it outward. Again, this is not something that you have never seen on my channel. I do this all the time. It's one of my favorite techniques. I love to pre-contour basically, or pre-emphasize my crease and define it with a cream face product before I go in with actual like eyeshadow products. So nothing new here, but this technique is essential for that latte makeup look. So just using that same LYS cream bronzer in Harmony and just bringing it all around, sweeping it out towards my temple. So creamy, so easy to blend. Love this product. It's just so good. Okay, so now that that is on, I'm gonna switch to a different product. This is one of my go-tos, one of my favorite products. This is Nutmeg. It's a matte shadow stick from Girlactik. This is a must product in my makeup kit. I use this on set religiously. So it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just gonna kind of roughly sketch this into my crease and then we're gonna blend it out. Same brush. This is a very like all over bronze eye look. It is not very paint by numbers. Like it's not like it's a little bit of bronze here and then this part is this and this part is that. It is like brown, bronzy all over the eyelid, but just varying tones of bronze. So you're creating like depth within depth by using slightly darker and slightly lighter tones of the brown. So that's what we're doing right now with the shadow stick. And I'm gonna bring it out on top of that cream bronzer and then drag it across my lash line. And I'll probably go in and do one more layer of this just to add even more intensity and just to kind of build it up too. So going back in with my nutmeg, focusing it on the crease only this time, and actually just a little bit more on the bottom. The blend of these is amazing. They blend out really, really easy. And once they are dried down, they are going to stay put, which is great if you're going to use them as like an eyeshadow base, which we are right now. We're going to use this as kind of like our main color, but I'm going to put some other colors on top and just blend that on top of the matte shadow stick. So all over, sweeping it out towards my temple. It's going to look crazy before it looks cleaned up. But yeah, just super blown out and bronzy throughout the entire eyelid space. Like literally the whole thing is going to be bronzy. Okay, so that is on. I'm going to switch it now and bring it to the bottom lash line and use this as my bottom lash line base. I don't prefer the bronzer on the bottom lash line because it's going to just crease way too much. Like this area has way too much movement to use a product that's that creamy. But since this dries down to a matte finish, this works really well on the bottom lash line as a base for your powder shadows to go on top. So same technique, just kind of ran it all across. And now I'm going to softly blend it out with the BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A504. This is like the mini version of that brush I just used to blend out the crease on the upper. So just smoking it out and connecting it to that outer part going towards the temple. Now that that is on, we're going to switch over to the powder bronzer that I'm going to use later. This is one of my favorites. This is like a standout to me. If you saw my huge bronzer haul, I purchased every bronzer that's sold inside of Sephora. This is one of the ones I tested out from House Labs. It's the Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer, and I have the shade Medium Level 6. This is a beautiful warm tone bronzer. So I'm going to grab a clean brush this time. It's the same one. It's a clean 212 from BK Beauty. Dip into that bronzer, tap off the excess, and this is going to be what we're going to use to set all those cream products that we just applied to the eyelid. I'm being very gentle because I don't want to lift up any of those creams. Now softly blending back and forth. Back to that mini blending brush. I'm going to set the bottom lash line as well. And now onto an actual eyeshadow palette. This is from NARS. This palette is so beautiful. I actually grabbed this for my makeup kit. I use it professionally. It's one of my favorites, and it's been a go-to of mine lately. It's the NARS Laguna palette. So it's the Laguna Quad eyeshadow palette. It's new. I don't know if it must be limited edition, I'm assuming, but get it while you can because it's stunning, and it's like the perfect tones for this latte look. Now, I'm not gonna use all these colors. Like this is a little too cool tone for this latte makeup look. It's really a warm, bronzy makeup look basically, but I am going to use this top shade right here and apply this all over the base of my eyelid. So my preferred method is my fingertip. I'm just going to swipe into that, but look how pretty that is. Like that is just latte in a palette. So I'm going to pat it on to my eyelid. It's so stunning. This shadow is absolutely stunning. You could go all matte with this. I've seen both throughout like this trend, but when I think of latte makeup, I think it's just more complimentary if you do like some balance and you throw a little shimmer in with all those matte tones. So I prefer it this way. I think it's really, like I said, the most flattering, like very like JLo-esque. So just all over the base of the eyelid. Okay, now we can move on to eyeliner. And for eyeliner, I just got this one in PR from Laura Mercier. It's the Caviar Eyeliner Pencil. It's in the shade Cocoa. So Cocoa is gonna be perfect for a latte makeup look. I'm gonna use this and create a soft blended out wing liner. No shocker, right? Like you've seen that a dozen times at least, maybe like 24 times on my channel, but you can't go wrong with a brown wing liner. You just cannot. So let's get this on. And I am gonna use this to tightline my eye as well. So I'm gonna just look off to the side and just push this into my lash line. Really saturate that color in there. Now before it dries down too much, I'm gonna take a small blending brush. This is a 204 from BK Beauty and start to create my wing and bring it out even more. Layer a touch more. Now I'm going to bring this a little bit on the lower half and slightly on my bottom lash line waterline. I'm not going to go all the way across. You can do whatever you want with this. I've seen it both ways with this trend. I just don't prefer that much liner going all across my bottom lash line on my eyes. Switching to this side, this is my difficult eye, so I do need to bring this a little bit closer to me just so I can really see what I'm doing. It's going to look crazy for a minute. And then tightlining a little on the bottom lash line and on the outer corner of my bottom lash line as well. So same thing as the other side. And then smudging it out with the same brush. Now again, it's gonna look really messy before we clean it up. So Just trust the process. To clean it up, I'll grab my all-time favorite Q-tips. I get these on Amazon. I'll try to remember to link them this time in the description, but I have an Amazon favorites video that I have linked those in the past, and I think it's only like, it's not that far down my channel, but you'll be able to find it easily. So now dipping into my micellar water, I'm going to clean it up. Don't worry about this because we still have to do concealer, and that is going to help clean up that harshness right now. I'm going to tap in that line a bit with my finger, blend it out. Check for evenness right now. Hold on. All right. Now remember, your wings are sisters, not twins. So don't beat yourself up if they're not completely symmetrical. Moving on to mascara. I'm obsessed with this formula from Huda Beauty. And I really don't say that often, I feel like, about mascaras, but this has even replaced the other Huda Beauty formula, the Legit Lashes that I love. I love that mascara. I've loved it for so many years. This is like unbelievably good. I don't know what they did, but they just crushed this formula. Shout out to Huda Beauty because this is like one of the best mascaras I've tried in a long time. It's the one coat wow. And honestly, as gimmicky as that sounds, it really is like a one coat wow. This is the brush. It has like two sides. One's flat, one's curved. I don't even think that matters. I think the formula itself is just unbelievable. So without further ado, I'm not even gonna curl my lashes because this actually gives me such great curl and lift without actually having to use a lash curler. Like, look at that. It's honestly beyond an amazing formula. It is such a great formula. I've been wearing it ever since I actually received this in PR. I think I posted about it too, but I have been wearing this nonstop. It's so good. So if you're in the market for a new mascara, definitely think you should check this one out. So while my mascara dries before I do my lashes, I'm gonna put my foundation on, and I'm gonna use the Very Valentino, it's just called Very Valentino foundation. It's the shade MN3 that I wear. So I'm gonna pump out just a touch of this. I'm not gonna use a whole lot. Same brush, I'm just gonna use that 110 from BK Beauty and start more in the center of my face. I love this brush when I wanna be a little more precise with my foundation application or my powder too. I love this brush for powder as well. I'm gonna bring this down my neck a touch because it is slightly darker than my skin tone. Okay, now that is on. I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer and just highlight a few areas of my face before I go in with my concealer. So I'm just gonna push this up. I love this for highlighting and just also for, like, of course, brightening my under eye. It's a really thin formula, blends out super easy, and is unbelievably affordable. I think this is like $5. So just gonna do a little highlighting. This is also gonna help to further enhance that bronzing under painting that we did underneath the makeup. So I'm gonna bring this along the side of my nose. Now to blend it out, I'm gonna use the Angie Hot and Flashy A506. This is a concealer brush. And in case you can't tell, there's a bird outside that is desperately trying to talk to me, and it seems urgent. Like they are just like quacking away. Yep, you hear that? I don't know if they're just trying to get into our house, if they want to talk to us about something, if they're in danger, but it only happens when I'm filming. Yeah, it doesn't happen on like a random Monday or Tuesday. No. It's only when we turn the studio lights on and I sit down to film. That's when the squirrels are like having a wrestling match on the roof. That's when the crows are crowing the most. You know, all those things. It's only, I swear to you, it's only when we are filming. Okay, you can see how easy this blends into my skin, and it just gives me like that little bit of highlighting that I'm looking for. I go back to my foundation brush, blend out my nose a little bit more. Now taking a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. This is a very full coverage concealer from Rose Inc. I wear the shade LX060. I just want a little more coverage in this area of my under eyes. Now for this part, I'm gonna take slightly damp camo sponge from e.l.f. and tap it in. A little more on my nose, underneath my nose where I have like a lot of redness. And then I'm just gonna use this to tap out the rest of the highlighter. Make sure it just all melts together and there's no harsh edges. And now speaking of edges, we're gonna take a clean blending brush now. Just another one from BK Beauty. It's an A503, and I'm gonna blend out the rest of this shadow just a touch more. Just kind of soften those two worlds. There's less of a hard line. To set my under eyes, I'm gonna grab old school, just Laura Mercier translucent powder. This is the original formula. I love the original formula, especially under my eyes. I think it looks just beautiful. And I'm just gonna take the other end of my camo sponge from e.l.f. dip into my powder, work into the palm of my hand, and then press it under my eyes. And just blur the heck out of my under eyes. This just looks, it's one of my favorite ways to just set my makeup. I'm a huge fan of setting my under eyes. This is like something that I don't skip ever. The rest of it I'm gonna put in my T-zone, like in between my brows where I don't wanna have a ton of shine. And now we're gonna set the cream bronzer from LYS with just a little bit of the House Labs. I'm not gonna go crazy with this. It's a very pigmented bronzer and I don't want it to be heavy. So I'm gonna grab a really fluffy brush. This is a big one from BK Beauty. It's a 103. This is large, it's fluffy. It's gonna give me just a nice natural amount of the bronzer. And before I hit my face with it, I like to push it in to the palm of my hand and then just tap it on top. It might look like nothing on camera, but it's gonna help to lock that LYS cream bronzer into place. This is a great technique if you just want longevity, of course, if you wanna further enhance the tone of your bronzer as well. And if you have oily skin and you want that staying power, make sure you lock in all your cream products with a powder, like a like-minded powder, like-minded shade. So I'm gonna bring this all across my cheek too, just a little bit, and across my nose to get that really warm tone, bronzy, latte look. And just really warm up my face. And now for my actual blush. The one I want to use, I'm just going to use a small amount of it too. I'm not going to do a ton of blush. I want the focus to be really on the bronzer and then just have a little whisper of blush throughout. So for this latte look, I'm going to use the cream blush from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's in the shade Peach Caramel. It is like the perfect tone for a latte makeup look. So what I like to do is just work it on the top of my hand, just like that. It's like an earth tone, very warm peach, like a deep peach. I love this shade. I think it's so stunning. And now grabbing a Angie Hot and Flashy A507, it has like a little angle on it. I'm gonna work my brush into the cream blush and then tap it on. This brush makes it incredibly easy to just sculpt your cheek, tap on cream products. I'm just being really careful because I have a lot of powder on at this point. And the last thing you wanna do with a cream product is just start to buff it on. You're gonna ruin your makeup. With whatever's left over, I'm gonna just sweep it across my nose just to bring that warmth and that balance to the center of my face. And then just sweep a little bit on the top of my forehead. This blush is magical. It's so beautiful. It's just one of my favorite shades. It's just a stunning, stunning shade. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the eyeshadow and revisit my bronzer. I'm gonna take that small brush from BK Beauty, tap into it. So now that my under eye is set, I can go in with this powder bronzer and just really work in that bottom lash line and blow it out and make it a little bit more smoky. All of these latte looks are pretty heavy on the bottom lash line. I mean, you can customize it. You can customize any makeup trend. You don't have to do it if it's a trend that you don't like. That's like the beauty of makeup. You don't have to do it. But like I said in the beginning, the reason why I did this one is because it spoke to me because it's a look that I've done for ages and ages. So just blending that out, smoking it out. Going back to my mascara from Huda Beauty, I'm gonna do a little bit of mascara on the bottom lashes. I don't want a lot of mascara on the bottom. I don't want it to be like spiky or spidery. Now that we're almost to lips, we're gonna go back to the House Labs. Take a pencil brush, any kind of pencil brush. I'm gonna dip into this powder bronzer. Okay, so if you're not new to my channel, you know that I do this all the time. I love to just do a little bit of powder bronzer or cream bronzer as my pre-lip liner. Just helps to bring out my lip shape, make them look a little fuller. If this is something you don't enjoy, just skip it. Some people love it, some people hate it. So either you are a fan or you're not. Moving on to lip liner, I'm going to use Iconic Nude from Charlotte Tilbury. This is one of my all-time favorite nude lip liners. I love this. And when I looked up the lip varies from like, you know, person to person on who's doing the makeup look. And the lip is kind of like an afterthought in my opinion. You just have to go light. Go lighter. It's more like a light, neutral, like warm pinky nude, basically. But any like lighter color that's not gonna take away the focus of the eyes, because the eyes are really the star of the show for this latte makeup look. It doesn't, you know, you can customize the lipstick. It doesn't have to be this exact combo that I'm gonna show you. Okay, lip liner is on. And then for lipstick, the lipstick is pretty soft, pretty sheer. It's not like an overwhelming amount of lipstick. I think the perfect product for this makeup look is my Jello Gloss Balm from Girlactik. I wear the shade Barely Nude, and it just is gonna be perfect for this because it's gonna keep it nice and soft, keep the focus on the eyes, which is what we're trying to do here. So applying that on top of that lip liner. I'm gonna grab our setting spray. I'm gonna choose one that's more matte. It's a really hot day and I want my makeup to stay put and not like slide off my face. I've been testing this one out for Milk Makeup. It's new to me. I know it's not that new, but it's the Pore Eclipse Matte Setting Spray. So it says shake well, so let me shake it really, really well. And then set this makeup. And that is the final step in this latte makeup look. I hope you enjoyed this fun makeup look. Let me know in the comments if you try it on yourself or if it's a look that you've been doing on your own and now you just discovered that it has a new name to it. And if you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss my future ones. And also I have plenty more where this came from. You can click on this one right here and I'll see you all soon. Bye.